All right, so I was asked to talk about my 2 years so far of experience in comedy and running comedy shows here in the Berkshires. And it's been strange. I moved here 11 years ago from California, and the last couple days of weather, you might be asking me why I would do that. I think I have the kind of self-abuse in my character that warrants starting comedy at the age of 40. And it's been a strange experience so far. This is also a blatantly promotional PechaKucha that I'm doing because I have a 10 by 10 comedy show happening this coming Saturday down at Spice Dragon that I hope you come to. We had one this last Saturday and sold out. We had to turn people away, and I hope you get tickets in advance and come to it because it was great. It was an amazing show, 10 comedians. We had a headliner from out of town, and it was a lot of fun. So what I discovered when I started out stand-up comedy, a lot of people don't understand what that is, who does it and how it works, etc. And so here's an example. On the left, that's Jerry Seinfeld, stand-up comedian in a sitcom. Next to him is Jason Alexander, an actor in a sitcom. And then there's Jerry Seinfeld doing stand-up as a stand-up, okay? It's different. He's writing his own stuff and talking about it, not performing something that somebody else wrote. There's a big difference. I first got into comedy when I was a kid. In California, this is the Punchline San Francisco, where I used to go starting at the age of 13, watching comedians like Robin Williams and Ellen DeGeneres and Bobcat Goldthwait, really amazing people, really was inspiring. I had big X's on my hands, so I wasn't allowed to drink. You know, they had these big black markers on my hands. So that was a great way to enjoy it. Now, comedy is an ignored art form. I went through 4 weeks of the New York Times, not one mention of stand-up comedy. In 4 weeks, they would have a one-act play that lasted one performance, fully reviewed, not one mention of stand-up comedy. It's amazing to me. Completely ignored. Also, people seem to think that big performances is what stand-up comedy is about. This is Dane Cook doing one of his sold-out performances at Madison Square Garden. Okay, that's not how stand-up comedy works. This is a special event of stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy starts in little places where some people with psychological problems talk to other people who want to receive them. So something like this. This is the Comedy Cellar in New York. It seats like 45 people. No one is more than 15 feet away from the stage. And you have that kind of direct relationship between the audience and the performer. And it's a living, breathing thing, not something where you're 1,000 feet away and 60 rows up. And it's a good experience. And that's what I wanted to bring when I started performing here in the Berkshires, because I had to drive an hour at least to perform in Albany or the Pioneer Valley. And it was difficult to find place and time to rehearse. So about a year ago, I started doing a show in town, and it has led to other shows like what we're doing down the street. And it's strange because a lot of people don't understand that not all comedy works for everybody. You know, some stuff works for some people, some doesn't work for others. You don't like all kinds of music, so why would you like all comedians? There's some music you must hate. So the same thing would go for comedy, and so you run into people thinking that, you shouldn't be offended. You shouldn't be offended or say anything offensive. You know, what is offensive? Somebody says, well, that's not funny. Well, that's not funny to you, but 40 other people in the audience laughed. So what is your problem? You know, I don't understand. So there's a lot of subjects you're never supposed to talk about, evidently, and I'll talk about a couple of them here right now. So you're never supposed to say anything about Hitler. Did you ever see those paintings that George Bush did in the White House that came out lately? Well, what was another world leader that painted? Adolf Hitler. They're just the same. No, actually, they're not. They're not. Adolf was a better painter, number one, okay? And number two, Adolf paid the consequences for starting an illegal war and killing thousands of people, right? That's a big difference, too. Here's me and Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong, he raised $500 million for cancer research, right? But that doesn't matter now. Well, you know what? He's still saving lives. All those people who are so disappointed in him when they're trying to kill themselves, those little yellow bracelets prevent them cutting through their wrists, right? So he's still doing that. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, rape. What a horrible word. No rape jokes. Okay, here's one that Anthony Jeselnik has said. My cousin had to go to prison for a year, and the only thing he was concerned about was getting raped. Well, you know what? In that year, he never even made it into the showers because he was so busy getting raped. Oh, that fell flat. Okay. That doesn't happen to him all the time, but I'm sure it does. Guns. I was horrified by Sandy Hook, so I talk about guns in my act a lot, and I finish it finish this bit I do about guns by asking the question, how many NRA spokesmen does it take to change a light bulb? How many NRA spokesmen does it take to change a light bulb? The answer, more guns. Right? That's their answer to everything. This is Rumpy's Tavern, where I do my show every Sunday night. It seats like 35 people. Like I said, you're never more than like 10, 15 feet away. I have 3 to 6 comics every Sunday night, and they come from all over the place. They come from New York, they come from LA, they come from Boston to perform there for free. Because it's a good room, and we've had great audiences here in the Berkshires. And I've met a lot of really cool people. That's Bill Burr on the left. He's been in the last 2 seasons of Breaking Bad. This nice lady in the middle there, Marina Franklin, she was on Chappelle's Show. These are all stand-up comics. Behind us, that's James Goff, who headlined our show here. These are all people, they've been on TV, they just want to be exposed to great audiences, and that's what we've been able to provide them here in the Berkshires. And I've been very pleased. So I've been trying to put us on the map as a place where people can come and perform in a real kind of comedy club setting, and have a good reception. And for performers who are just starting out, like a lot of the people who come to our show on Sundays at Rumpy's, they're just starting out. But then there's these really amazing people that still want to come here. So our headliner for this Saturday, this is Nick Vatterott. I met him at the New Orleans Comedy Festival last month. He's been on Conan O'Brien. He's had his own special on Comedy Central. He's been on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, all those shows. And I told him, hey, we're doing this thing up in the Berkshires. Oh, I've heard of that place. What's going on? Well, I'm doing the show. And he's coming up. He gets paid thousands of dollars to perform elsewhere, and he's coming up to do our little show. So I really hope you guys come out. You can get tickets at Spice Dragon down the street. You can get them from me, and you can get them online. Just ask me how after our event here. I'm Thomas Till Lewis. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.